you don't have to have people under you to lead. You could lead a project, you could lead a task, but a leader is balanced. There's sometimes you have to drive people hard, and sometimes you have to, drive them soft. It is a difficult thing to lead. As I mentioned, I've run small, medium, and large companies, and the leadership skills and operating knowledge you need to have are different, but they're all similar in one aspect. You have to be balanced, right? You have to be tough when you have to be, but also fair and supportive. And that's something that a lot of leaders do not have. For example, my business partner in my venture firm, a very talented individual named by the name of Angel Arantia, he worked for Steve Jobs directly at Net when Steve Jobs ran Next. And boy, the horror stories you hear about Jobs are all true, right? Unfortunately, they just are. And so he was one of the, he wasn't a warrior, he was a soldier. He would just fight and he was aggressive. So the guy did great things, can't argue with that, right? Timing and other things come into play there too. But boy, he could have done even more things had he balanced his leadership approach out more, in our opinion. So I always start out this part of the class with a quote, one of my favorite quotes, and that is, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? And Sean probably remember, us older guys remember this. This was a big deal back in the day. And that's what Mike Tyson said. I mean, the guy doesn't come across as a philosopher, but he really has some good points. And that's true, right? One of the martial arts I study is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And there's a saying there that a black belt drops to a blue belt after he gets hit in the face. And then first time he gets hit in the face, the second time he's a white belt. You can mop the floor with them. So everybody says, always has a blue sky, optimistic plan in front of them. And what happens, right? The moment it gets launched, it goes to, what? And so a leader has to make adjustments. They have to be highly adaptive. And that's one of the skills that I've shared with my associates time and time again, is the ability to adapt to your situation and be open-minded and adjust the plan accordingly. One anecdote from the investment world, I've been on both sides of that boardroom table, right? I've been an entrepreneur pitching to venture capitalists and investors, and I've had entrepreneurs and innovators pitch to me. And so one of the things I learned from that experience is the experience of being on both sides of that table is, at the end of the day, the investor or the manager, if you apply it to the office and the business side, the operational side of things, everybody knows that plan is going to not work accordingly, right? But what they don't know is how well you, the leader, the innovator, the entrepreneur, the exec, are going to adapt and make adjustments. So people are investing time and money or support into you, not your plan, because they know the plan isn't gonna fly straight. They want to make sure that you can make the corrections necessary. So this is all about reality-based leadership skills for executives and engineers. And again, the martial arts, there's a lot of different analogies, but I tend to use the martial art analogies because they're close to me. You could be an MBA from the best school in the world and not have some of the real world experience to make you do your job better. Or you can be, very seasoned, but lack the theoretical skills. So you need that balance. So when we're talking about reality-based leadership skills, again, we're talking about that yin and yang, having enough theoretical knowledge, right, and to use those tools to solve problems, but also having the actual street level skills, if you will, to solve a problem. That's why the best engineers I always thought I hired came from Cal Poly. I always thought that was one of the best engineering schools around, because their curriculum is half practical, hands-on, and half theory, where schools like Stanford and MIT, they're great schools, they crank out great people, but we would have to teach those engineers how to be reality-based. So we preferred a more balanced approach.